Welcome to the BigMoneyDetailer.com podcast. You're in the right place to discover the insider secrets to earn more so you can serve more. Here is your host, the founder of Big Money Detailer and also known as America's Chief Profit Officer, Davy Tyburski. Be sure to visit us at BigMoneyDetailer.com.
Welcome to the show. We're mixing it up for this episode, and I think you're going to love it. Davy wanted to give you a real taste of what it's like to be on one of our live Q&A calls, unscripted, unfiltered, and packed with practical strategies. In this session, he tackles two of the hottest questions from the Big Money Detailer community. 1. What's the smartest way to price your auto detailing packages? 2. How do you set up a recurring monthly maintenance plan or membership program that actually sticks? If you want to be part of one of these future calls, head over to BigMoneyDetailer.com and get yourself signed up. Let's dive in.
Hey, Big Money Detailers. Hey, welcome to the live question and answer call for today. Always excited to see so many folks jumping on to get additional information on how you can earn more so you can serve more. Again, a couple friendly reminders to you as we roll through here on your dashboard over there. You'll see a raise hand. Just feel free to press that button, raise your hand. I'd be happy to unmute you. And again, if you put your camera on, that's even better so we can have a conversation. But again, this is all about serving you. So what are your questions? What are your biggest challenges right now? What are your top goals? This is a live open Q&A forum to make sure that I'm delivering and we're delivering everything from Big Money Detailer to help you earn more and serve more in your local area. So with that, we had plenty of questions come in, but again, I'd rather hear from you live. So go ahead and put your hand up if you have a question, or if you're more comfortable, just stick it over there in the chat in the question section, and my team will print it out for me, and then we'll go ahead and hit a few of those as we move forward here this morning on the call. So here's a couple that we got in. Before we start, yesterday I did a live webinar for the International Detailing Association. And in that webinar, and by the way, you can go to the IDA site and check it out. Just Google International Detailing Association. And then if you're not a member of the IDA, it's less than $1 a day. So you should definitely become a member of the IDA, not only because it's a great organization, they have a great team, and they're very efficient in how they run things. But also there are many folks, many others just like me, who are out there putting up terrific webinars and a lot of other information that will really help you expand your detailing business. But anyway, back to the story. That topic that I did yesterday was how to use public speaking to grow your detailing business. And for those of you that are on the Q&A session this morning, see a couple things over there already. You don't have to be a public speaker. Like, I don't want to freak anybody out. It's like, you don't need any formal training. You don't need a stage. You just need a servant's heart to deliver a message to all the local businesses in your area. And again, it's not a sales pitch. It's not you going in talking about your detailing business. I'll just kind of give you some insights, but all of you should go to the IDA site. And if you're a member, go ahead and log in and watch it. If you're not a member, you should join the IDA. Like I said, less than $1 a day. It's definitely worth it. It's a great organization. But I'll give you a couple highlights here. First is, as far as speaking locally, you're not going to go in and do a sales pitch, right? It's not like you're going to show up at the Chamber of Commerce and talk for 15 minutes about ceramic coatings and all the other great stuff that your company does. That's not what this is all about. It's always about leading with a servant's heart. Lead with your heart. Go there and serve that organization. So if it's the chamber, you're going to obviously be serving many businesses at the same time because they have a lot of different businesses that are part of the chamber. But for instance, if you go to I'll just go and say like a car dealership, and maybe you're really good at team building, or you're really good at holding meetings with your team, then that's something that every company is want to learn more of. And again, with AI these days, you can simply just, ask AI, say, hey, give me the top 15 challenges that local businesses have in my case, San Antonio, Texas. And you can kind of look at that list and you can say, oh, I'm good at number 6 and I'm good at number 9. And then you can put together a little presentation. 10, 15 minutes is all it is. The benefit of that is it's one to many. So right now I'm talking to you. Well, I'm talking to one to many because many of you are on the Q&A call here this morning. But if you're in a situation where you're talking to a potential client, it's one-on-one. So that 5-minute conversation, I call it, by the way, it's a coined term that I use in all my keynote presentations whenever I speak at detailing conferences or whenever I'm speaking to different organizations, Microsoft, Kellogg's, Goodyear, just to name a few. But bottom line is, one of the things I always talk about is, hey, there's a few things that you need to make sure happen in that presentation. And it's all about serving them first. The benefit of doing that talk, again, is one to many. So even though, like I said, you can have that sales versation, as I was saying earlier, I call it a sales versation because you're not selling them anything. It's more of a conversation, yes, combined with sales. So you want to have that sales versation. When you have it one-on-one and it's 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes of your time. But think about this for a second. If you were able to get a 15-minute presentation where you have, let's say, 10 people in maybe at the company or 10 people in their conference room or whatever, now think about how much you've multiplied your time. Think about how much you've multiplied your effort in terms of having sales versations, except in this case, you're talking to many more people. So again, check it out. Go to the IDA website, Google International Detailing Association. As a matter of fact, I've been blessed to speak there at their live events many times, and also have spoken like at the Mobile Tech Expo and a few others. All right, back to the regularly scheduled program, which is the question and answers for today. And today we're probably going to go for about another 15 minutes or so. So again, if you're just jumping on, if you want to hit that button that says request to speak, I'll be happy to unmute you. We'll have a conversation, see if I can serve you and help you with any challenge you're having or maybe a top goal. And then also, if you want, just go ahead and type it in over there and we'll make sure that we get it. So here's the questions we received prior to today's Q&A session. So I'm just going to pick a few of these randomly. Let's see here. All right, well, let's talk about number 2. What is the best pricing strategy for my auto detailing packages? So packaging, pricing, to me, there's a few steps before we start talking about pricing. I like to kind of break things down. Same thing whenever I do like my live events, and whenever you become a coaching member for Big Money Detailer, you come here to my home training center, which is upstairs. And I break it into 3 pieces. There's a before, there's a during, there's an after. So back to the question, what is the best pricing strategy for my auto detailing packages? Well, let's start with before. Before we talk about pricing, right? Before we quote pricing and all those other things, before that happens, there should be a few things you have in place. One of the key things you should have in place is an expectation video, or at a minimum, at least a few paragraphs on your website or on your social media page, however you run your marketing on your side of the business. But you should have something there that kind of outlines all the reasons why you deliver outstanding value. It's not just about having package A, package B, package C, and these are the prices. Excuse me. It's more about what are you doing beforehand, before you even talk about a price, to make sure that person, that potential client, understands the value you bring. And again, a lot of these things, some of you may not know, but I'm Dylan Tyburski's father. He runs the Affluent Auto Spa here in San Antonio, Texas. So besides being blessed to be his dad, I'm also blessed to be his business mentor. Now if you ask him, what's it like to have your dad mentoring and coaching you? He'll probably say it's a blessing sometimes, and sometimes it's a curse, because sometimes I'll give him a hug when he's doing things well, and sometimes I give him a kick in the butt whenever he needs improvement. But if you go to affluentautospa.com, you'll see how we address this in terms of value. How do we explain value? And just as important, what we do and what we don't do. That's also a big part of the conversation that you need to have, again, either in writing or with a video or whatever it might be, to make sure you're setting the right expectation with that customer. So before, again, what's the best pricing strategy for my auto detailing packages? The before is setting the right expectation. Let me summarize that for you. Now, next is during, okay? Now, one thing about me is I can land on either side of this option, okay? And I can justify either one. I'm just letting you know from Affluent Auto Spa's perspective, we chose option A. Let me give you option B first. Option B is the website, your social media page, whatever, has package A, here's all the stuff you get, here's the price. Package B, here's all the stuff you get, here's the price. Option C, here's all the stuff you get the idea. Here's the price. Which, by the way, if you do choose option B, which we use option A, I'll cover here in a minute. But if you do use option B.
Let's take a quick break. What if everything you've been told about getting referrals for your detailing business was completely wrong? Are you tired of chasing clients and wishing you had them running to you to use your services instead? Do you want to drive more profits for your detailing business? Forget everything you thought you knew about referrals. Go to bigmoneydetailer.com/referrals, and you'll discover how the affluent auto spa, Davy's son's business, grew their referrals from 24% to 48%. That's right. They doubled their referrals. And you can too. Go to bigmoneydetailer.com/referrals right now.
I don't recommend more than 3 different choices for a potential customer. Why? Because a confused mind doesn't buy. A confused mind doesn't move forward. So what we have to be careful with is when we have, 10 different packages, you're making that person decide between 10 different choices. And one thing that let's really, a lot of clients tell me this, one thing that makes me unique is I've worked with 15 different industries, okay? Not just auto detailers, but I've worked with other industries, construction trades, transportation companies, healthcare, fitness, and many, many others. Dentists as well, as an example. And one thing I'm really good at and why you want to hang out with us here at Big Money Detailer is I look at what's working in all those other industries and I tweak it just a little bit. I make it work for your auto detailing business. And the benefit of that, of course, is besides getting great, auto car detailing strategies and tips from us, I also bring in those other industries and model things that are working well there. And then we implement them in Dylan's business, affluentauto.com. And then I share them with you whenever you move forward as a coaching member. So one example, it just happened because I did the webinar yesterday. I have this stuff laying in front of me, so I'll just hold it up for you. Like here's one right here. There's an actual physical copy of Dylan's book. It's called Car Detailing San Antonio. To my knowledge, I don't know, other than Dylan, I don't know anyone who's specifically written a detailing book specifically for the area that they're servicing. So let's go back to modeling other businesses. This comes from my keynote speaking business. Okay, this comes from the keynote speaking industry, where to be a leading authority in something, people see you as a leading authority and having more credibility when you have and you've written a book, with the ISBN number and everything else in there. That is one example of how we model what's working well in another, in this case, industry, but really it's speaking. And how do we model that for the detailing business? Well, the book. So go back to these pricing options, right? You give someone 10 options, it's very confusing. Now, how we modeled our pricing, we have like 3. And think about this, it comes from really straight up. Like I'm a fast food junkie. Some of you know that already. And you're kind of laughing over there in the chat. I see that. But like Taco Bell, I just love Taco Bell. But now, up until about 4 or 5 years ago, there used to be 3 choices when you went to a fast food restaurant. And if you want, you can type them in because you know what they are already. But go ahead and give me some engagement over there in the chat. Yep, you got it right. There you go. John says small, medium, large. Right. 3 choices. Small, medium, large. So your packages for your detailing business, small, medium, large. Or in this case, a gold, a silver, and a bronze as an example. Or platinum, gold, silver, whatever you come up with. But there should be 3 of them. And in most cases, if you do the research in marketing and you look at how people choose things, small, medium, and large. Oh, I don't want the small. That's too small. I don't want the large. That's too big. I'll just go with the medium. So if you do decide to go with option B, which is giving those packages what you get, you're going to have 3 of them. And then also I would have sort of the middle one, and I would put most popular. And that should be the one that probably is the most profitable for you as well. Again, you guys know I'm known as America's Chief Profit Officer whenever I go out and speak. And it's not just about, revenue. Revenue is important, but really profit is the most important component of your business. So small, medium, large packages, you're only going to have 3. You're not going to have 10. Make it easy for the customer to choose. That's option B. Back to the question. Okay, some of you are just jumping in here. The question was, what is the best pricing strategy for my auto detailing packages? I just covered option B. And that was in terms of small, medium, and large. Don't give them too many packages. Give them 3 choices. Okay. Now, option A, which is what we choose here at the Affluent Auto Spa, is we don't have like set prices as far as now we have set prices for packages. But what we don't do is we don't just quote somebody on the phone. Hey, it's so-and-so. Can I get a quote for a fill in the blank? We push people and we actually do 2 or sometimes 3, I'll call them closes, to close them into a consultation. We want to physically show up at their residence. We want to physically show up at their medical office building or whatever. And we want to have a consultation with them before we quote a price. So again, option B, put the prices on your website, social media page, whatever you decide, A, B, and C. Here's what you get. Here's the prices. Boom. The challenge with that in our mind and based on my decades of marketing and sales is you're letting people decide off of a page. Okay, I'm just going to shop for price. So they'll look at your price and then they'll call 3 other detailers and they'll pick the lowest price. In our business, the Affluent Auto Spa, we tend to detract those type of people based on the messaging and how we word things and our videos and some of the other components. As a matter of fact, there's another thing I talked about yesterday on the call. We use this, what I'll call a luxury exotic car detailing treatment voucher. Okay, this is what this is for. I'm going to read it to you again. This certificate entitles you to 1 complimentary luxury exotic car detailing treatment, exclusive one-time offer, $247 value. Now, again, I'm not judging anyone. I'm not that type of person. Those of you that are in the coaching program know that. But I will say from a marketing perspective, we're clearly saying that we're looking for luxury and exotic car vehicle owners. Okay. We're not saying, again, no disrespect. We're not saying like minivans with Cheetos and a baby seat in the back and the car is a disaster. We're actually calling out who we're looking for. And then also on the back, you could see, well, you may not see, which by the way, you can go to bigmoneydetailer.com, and a lot of the things I talk about on these live Q&A calls, a lot of stuff I talk about in webinars, and when I do my live presentations, I put those resources out there. So go to bigmoneydetailer.com. There's a buffet, a whole buffet of different things that you can look at to really help grow your business. So back to option A on this pricing. Option B, here's your prices. Go pick small, medium, large, boom. We go down the consultation route. This is another example of why it's a benefit to work with me, because what I've done is I've taken the dentist and physician practice of marketing. If you think about that, last time you were sick, last time you were, in need of a dentist, as an example, do you just walk in the door and they say, okay, I'm gonna drill tooth number 10 and I'm gonna take care of it for you? No. That's treating you already. It's the same thing with your detailing business. When you give someone basically A, B, and C as a choice, and they go look at it, they're self-medicating, so to speak. They're picking something based on what they think they want, right? The consultation model, which is much more effective, going back to how dentists and doctors work, is you go in, and the first thing they do is they have a conversation with you and they assess and diagnose your situation. How you feeling? What's causing this? They're asking you a lot of questions. So in your detailing consultation, it should be the same thing. What concerns do you have about your vehicle? How often do you get your vehicle washed? All those type of assessing and diagnosing type questions. You want to learn more about what their goals are. You want to learn more about how long they're going to have the car. Are they planning on selling the car soon? Just like a physician or a dentist does, they ask you a series of questions to help determine the best path of care. Same thing with your auto detailing consultations is you're going to assess, diagnose, have some conversations with the customer. Thanks for lighting up the chat. You guys are relating to this, which again, I appreciate you giving me some feedback here as we move forward. But you can relate to that. Assess, diagnose, and then as the professional qualified auto detailer, you now have the right to suggest the treatment, whatever the treatment happens to be. You got to understand that your most valuable client, the person you really want to do business with, is the one who's most educated. I'm just going to read you a few of these chapters from Dylan's book. How auto detailing may increase your resale value, how a do-it-yourself approach may damage your vehicle, What is advanced clay bar treatment? Paint swirls versus no paint swirls. My favorite chapter and Dylan's favorite chapter is chapter 15. As a matter of fact, when we leave this book and have a conversation with someone, we actually put this sort of in there as a bookmark. And what they do is they go to that specific chapter. It is called, are you ready? What is ceramic coating and why you should have it applied? Now, in a lot of cases, a potential customer doesn't even know what the heck ceramic coating is. So by having, and again, if you want to do the book, we have a way to do that. Go to the website and hit that button that says, learn more about one of the most advanced marketing techniques. But for this call, I just want to kind of break it down for you. If you don't have a book, you could still have a section on your website that explains the benefits of ceramic coating. You don't have to go like to the platinum option and have a full book. It's great. It works well, gives us a lot of referrals. But in your case, you can at least write an article about what ceramic coating is. So back to option A. Why consultations are important? Because you assess, you diagnose, and then you've earned the right to suggest treatment. Not for the patient in this case, but you have earned the right to suggest a treatment for their vehicle. As a matter of fact, we don't call them detailing packages. We call them treatment options. Okay, again, modeling what works in other industries and what people are used to. So to put a bow on this first question that we're covering today is, what is the best pricing strategy for my auto detailing packages? Again, two options. Option B, small, medium, large. Let them pick. Let them decide. The downside of that is you don't even get their contact information. They're judging you. They're judging their decision based on some words on the page, right? Or if you have it printed out physically, they're judging you off of that. Option A, which again, remember, I can go either way here. We chose at Fluent Auto Spa to go down the consultation route for the reasons that I just described. So hopefully that helps. The last thing you might be thinking, let's see. Yeah, okay. So yeah, how's that compare to my local market? I don't know. I mean, you should probably be a secret shopper or have someone call around to the other local top detailing companies in your area. Well, there's a lot of, I could spend another 10 minutes on this, but I'm going to give you the summary so I can get to the next question. You should always secret shop. You or somebody in your organization or maybe a friend of yours should call and see how the other companies handle a phone call, as an example. You call a company, how do they answer the phone? Is it Joe's Detailing? Or is it Joe's Detailing? How can I put a smile on your face today? I just made that up just to give you an extreme example. But how are they answering the phone? And then how are they answering your questions? How are they addressing pricing concerns? You should learn from others in your local market. The other benefit of that, going to the second part of this question, is how should you price?
Let's take a quick break. We would love for you to take just a few seconds right now to share this episode with your detailing friends across your social media channels. Thanks for helping us build our big money detailer community. One last thing before we get back to this episode. Be sure to claim even more free business building strategies and techniques so you can continue to earn more and serve more. Go to bigmoneydetailer.com. And now back to our podcast.
Locally, well, you don't want to be the lowest price person. You don't want Dylan doesn't mind if I tell the story, but when he first started thinking about starting his detailing business, I'm like, let's brainstorm some names, man. What do you got? And a couple of them were, let's just say they needed an area of improvement. They needed an area of improvement, and it was the name Dylan's Discount Detailing. Dylan's Discount Detailing, 3 Ds, is going to attract what type of people? People that want a discount. In my many years of dealing with clients from multi-billion-dollar companies to startup entrepreneurs, it's much easier to deal with affluent people that, again, just talking marketing here, that have a lot of disposable income. They have extra money, right? Somebody who's going to use Dylan's Discount Detailing is probably going to haggle you on price. No matter how well you do, they're never going to be satisfied with the result that you gave them versus somebody who's driving a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, who is not as concerned, or in some cases, actually in most cases, not concerned about price at all. They're more concerned about the value that we deliver. they're always going to be happy with the vehicle and the awesome work that you do. So that's the decision you have to make as far as the pricing goes. But I would secret shop. I would call some of the local detailing companies in your area and see if kind of where you fit on the scale. Are you on the lower end of the pricing? Are you in the middle range? Or are you on the higher end of the pricing? As a matter of fact, we're on the higher end. But if you go to, again, Dylan's site, affluentauto.com, you'll see how we address that. And we're pretty direct and say, look, we don't say it exactly this way, but that's what you'll see. It basically says, if you want a discount and you want subpar service, we're probably not the right company for you. We just sort of lay it out in a very graceful way to let them know that they should probably go somewhere else. Okay, let's see if we're going to go for another, 5 minutes here today. Try to keep these tight. Again, if you have any questions, hit that little button that says raise your hand or request to speak, I think it says. And then I'll unmute you and you can jump in and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. And then again, just in the chat, a couple things. Didn't think about how my detailing business could relate to a dentist office. Well, just let me finish that conversation with you real quick. So this is our referral box. This comes from the dental industry. Like if you're a patient first time, they give you a box like this. It has like floss and a toothbrush and toothpaste and all kind of cool stuff in it like that. So because I've worked with dentists in the past, I modeled what they did. And what we did is we created a gift referral, I should say introduction, my bad. We call this a gift introduction box. And what it's designed to do is it has all kind of goodies in it. It has Dylan's 6-page brochure. It has the program I just told you about earlier. It's got a refrigerator magnet. It's got poker chips, business cards, and, of course, a copy of his book would also go in here that I've already showed you during the Q&A call today. And the reason we have that together is it makes it very easy for a satisfied client to recommend and introduce Dylan to others. So as an example, when he's finished with a vehicle, let's say, and comes out, does the quality check, everybody's happy. Boom. He says, hey, you know what, Mary, I'd love to give you a gift box. In here, you'll find a few things. He kind of walks them through real quick, moves on to the next client. And then because Mary, I think it was Mary, I said, Mary's neighbors were coming over looking at her, Mercedes and saying, man, it looks really good. Who did it for you? And now she's got probably, I think there's 7 different components in that box. She can take a poker chip, a business card, a fridge magnet. She can give a copy of the Dylan's book if she wants to that potential client, and it's lather, rinse, repeat for us. And again, works well for us. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to the homepage, bigmoneydetailer.com, and there should be a big icon there that says Referral Accelerator. You can check out the Referral Accelerator and how we use all that marketing material. Okay, let's get one more question in here before we close out for today. And again, if you have anything, just stick it in the chat. Thanks for all the feedback. And again, maybe some of you are a little shy this morning and don't want to put your hand up, and that's okay. I've got plenty of questions that y'all sent me before the call today. All right, let's see where we're going to go next here. Okay, this is number 7. It says, how do I set up a recurring maintenance plan or membership program? First off, if you don't have one, you are missing out on one of the biggest revenue opportunities and one of the best ways to retain, keyword, retain your current clients. And the last thing is it's the one of many ways, of course, but in this case, it's one way to generate recurring revenue while you sleep. It's funny because I think it was last week we had some challenging weather here in San Antonio. So Dylan, because he does mobile, couldn't do a lot of the jobs because it was raining. But guess what? I still saw the notifications coming in for $197 for those folks who are on the monthly. We call it the VIP maintenance program. Again, you can check it out over at affluentauto.com. But it's good to see that when you're not actually working, that there's still money coming in monthly. So every month, that gets charged to their credit card, the VIP maintenance program. It's $197 a month. And, easy math. Let's do easy math. You get 10 of those at $197. I don't trust my brain because I'm not good at math, but I do have my trusty calculator. I'm going to take $197 times 10 clients. How would you like to be generating an extra $1,970 a month just for fun? Divide that by 30 days. How would you like to be generating an extra $65 a day by having 10 people on your maintenance program? Back to the question. How do I set up a recurring maintenance plan or membership program? Well, first, I want to just make sure you understand the dollar impact of that. It's significant. Use that same number and say, when you get to 100 clients at $197 a month, how's that change your world? What would you do with the extra money? How would you do more fun stuff with your family and all the other cool stuff that comes with that? So how you set it up basically is you just need to put pen to paper. You need to say, this is what I'm going to deliver for you on the monthly program, and here's the price. And I know that sounds simple, but that's where you start. You start with a pen and paper, and you sketch it out and say, this is what I'm going to deliver. And then you can basically take that information and you put it to your website. We actually have a whole video that explains it. So after Dylan does a great job with his team, on a vehicle, it goes something like this. And I'll get you the link here in a minute. But it goes something like this. Hey, Mary, glad you loved your vehicle. Glad everything went well. As a matter of fact, you earned 1 free month in our monthly VIP maintenance program. And he leaves. I don't have one in front of me. And quite honestly, I'm not going to go to the marketing closet and get one. It looks like this. It's basically a certificate that says you've earned 1 free month. And there's a QR code on it. They scan the QR code. The customer goes to the site. They put in their information. Yes, they actually put their credit card information in as well. And then what happens is we get them on the schedule, right? After the first service, they love it. It's like, this is great. I want to continue. It automatically charges the card $197 a month for month after month after month after month. I believe that is affluentautospA.com/VIP. Let me just check the other window here real quick. I'm just going to make sure I give you guys the right thing. And so if you go to affluentautospA.com/VIP, I think it's VIPMO. Let's see. Yes. So if you go to, let's see here if I can do this for you guys. Let's share the screen real quick. It's this right here. Share. There you go. So if you go to affluentautospA.com/VIPMO, again, what we do first is we hand them that voucher. They come to this site. You've earned 1 free month. Here's a video right here that explains the process, how it works. And down here, they have the ability to move forward. So you can sign up right now. Right now, you can sign up at the annual retail rate, or you can just do monthly right here for $197. So we are good to go. And that's how we basically promote the maintenance program to everyone. We give them that voucher first, and then after the voucher, we send them to the website, and they take care of it. So with that, I think I'm going to shut it down for today. Again, the questions we didn't get to, I'll just carry those over to our next live Q&A call, and I will make sure that we cover those. But until next time, I'm Davy Tyburski, the founder of Big Money Detailer, also known as America's Chief Profit Officer and proud father of Dylan Tyburski of the Affluent Auto Spa. I will chat with you real soon. Bye-bye.
Congratulations and thank you for joining us for this episode. Discover even more strategies and tips on how to increase your detailing sales revenue, improve your cash flow, and boost your bottom line. Go to BigMoneyDetailer.com right now.